to the Tahona Society podcast, where community is built, and one step at a time. And today's episode is special because I would say it's about consistency, about the quiet power of showing up every single day. And as part of the Tahona Running Club, we will dive deep into what it really means to live a runner's life. And that's why I invited today's special guest. Her name is Andrea, or short, most people know her as Andy. And she has been running daily for a long, long time, like no shortcuts, no excuses. And today we will share hard-earned insights from her and on performance, on recovery, on mindset, and how running becomes less of a hobby, I guess, so more of a way of life. So this episode is for everyone who is a beginner or also a seasoned runner, I would say, because you can always learn from a professional. So Andy, thank you so much for being here with us. And tell us in a nutshell who you are and what made you fall in love with running. So thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. First of all, I was very happy and excited to be part of this when you asked me. You called me a professional. I wouldn't call myself a professional, but thank you very much. Compliments are always welcome. But you're right. I've been running for a very, very long time, and I've been doing it consistently. And for me, it is a lifestyle. It is part of my identity. And short about my personality or who I am and what I'm doing, I am a single mother of 2 kids, which means I have a very, very busy life. I have to be very structured. I am also working in the sports industry, which brings me closer to my passion. Running is not a job, it is a passion, and it turned into a job. But for me, it is my personal way of balancing my life, which can get quite hectic. And it's really like that reset button that you need on a daily basis to really put all the bits and pieces that are chaotic back into alignment. So that's how I would call it. And maybe to the story, how did I get into running? Because of course you have to start at some point. You are at some point in life where you want to change something. And that was me back 17 years ago. I just finished my Abitur. I didn't know where I was heading. I knew that I wanted to be a little bit more active. I was always sporty, but I never really followed up on one sport. I didn't become a professional. I just did a little bit of tennis here, a little bit of running there, like all mixed. Why running really stood out, was because it was very accessible. So I didn't need a gym. I didn't need crazy equipment. I just had to lace up my shoes and go outside and run. It's easy. It's really like anyone can do that. We are all capable of doing this. And that's why I started. And then in the beginning, it was quite hard because everyone kept telling me, oh, running is boring. Oh, running is hard. Oh, it's no fun. All these, like negative comments, and they were spiraling in my head. Like during my first couple of sessions, and I didn't do crazy runs. I ran for like 2K or 3K, and any type of distance is enough. The biggest or most important thing is you get out there. You make it a promise to yourself, I'm going to go for a run today. And tomorrow it's a new day and I will decide again. Anyways, all these like bad things spiraled in my head, and then I was trying to get them out of my head. And it wasn't even so hard because I didn't resonate with it. For me, the run was nice because I got to see something. I was able to breathe in fresh air. I heard the birds and so on. So this negativity, I was able to get it out of my head very quickly. And then I just established a routine. I made a commitment to myself. I said, hey, you know what? From now on, I'm going to go run every day. I didn't put in a distance. I just said, I'm going to go for a run. At some point, of course, when you do something over and over and over, it's a repetitive thing. You want to challenge yourself. So at some point from the 2 or 3K every day, I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to run 10K every day from now on. 10 is a clean number. You know, it wasn't no in between. It was a little bit more. I felt my body afterwards. And so that's how it started, and I never stopped. And now I wake up every morning, and the first thing I do is run.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. For me, that's why I call you a professional, because now you mentioned 17 years ago. And I really liked, and it resonates with me what you said about like building up small habits. And we will dive into this kind of advices in a bit as well. Yeah, I think for the Taona society especially, it's very interesting why someone in a fast-paced environment, in a very hard environment, we just talked briefly about it off camera, how bartending or hospitality in general is one of the hardest jobs in the world, because we work night shifts, we work long shifts, there's a lot of alcohol, drug abuse, things like that. And yeah, how do you think, like, especially for these kind of guys, running can have like benefits for them? Let's say physically, I mean, you mentioned already a bunch of them, the mental health, or even how they could add a bit of running into their daily life. I mean, you already mentioned that you don't need, it's very accessible, so things like that. So what do you think, especially for guys with a hard job, how can they build up a routine?
I mean, like I said before, in my specific situation, it's important to have some sort of structure, you know, like with the running, if you work long nights. Of course, you also need your time to recover. You need some sleep. But with the running, you bring in some healthy structure into your life. And I think especially if you're exposed to an unhealthy, I call it unhealthy environment. I mean, for me personally, I do not drink alcohol. Mm-hmm. I cut alcohol a long time ago because I saw the effects of alcohol on my body, especially during moments when I trained more, you know, because that also puts some stress onto your body. Like, 100%. Let's not underestimate that fact. Any type of sports, especially if you do it on a high level, is going to stress you out. So you have to cut out all the rest. But I think the stress you put onto your body with sports is a lesser evil than drinking alcohol or using drugs or not sleeping enough. So yeah. Absolutely. People have to find their balance. And I think through running, people working in a bartending environment can reestablish some balance in their lives, because it will automatically have an effect on the bad habits. So without even a lot of persuasion power, you will automatically start eating better. You will maybe, instead of 5 beers after your shift, you will only stick to 1, or you might only drink water, you know, because I mean, I have a lot of fun just drinking water. You know, I don't really need that like external, motivation or whatever. Like it changes, your mind changes through running. And I think mentally and physically, there's only benefits on that side to, just balance and harmony.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. Yesterday, actually, we went to a Michelin restaurant, in fact, and of course, always they ask you for the pairing, and we went for the alcohol-free pairing, and I can absolutely relate to it. Of course, I cannot demonize it, because I do enjoy here and then a drink, but once it comes abusing thing, then we are in a very thin line, right? And that's also one of the reasons, and that's why I can relate a lot to your lifestyle. Last year, I did a challenge that I wanted to train every single day, and I managed I kept up. Of course, I had a couple of days where I was injured, but then I made it up and I went another day, maybe twice, once to the boxing gym, another day on the same day to do a run. And I think you mentioned it quite well. Once you build up this routine, you automatically want to cut out like unhealthy things, which can be the diet. And I think for me personally, I think 80-20 is a very good approach, that you're most of the time, I love to be really, really strict on myself, on my routines, but then here and then it's okay. But every time I let like the unhealthy habits slip in, let's say I eat deep fried foods and stuff, the next day my performance, is worse than it would be very clean. So absolutely, you're absolutely right. Talking about it, what would you say if someone has unhealthy habits, let's say is overweight? What would you say? What kind of equipment someone, or how should he start in general? Because of course the injuries, or to prevent injuries like the joints and all this, what would be a recommendation for you to start with short distance?
Yeah, I mean, most people who are overweight and who have the ambition to lose weight, they start exercising, right? So I think there is a great ambition there to start doing something, but running, is high impact sport. It is very tough on the joints. And I would say the perfect runner is definitely a skinny person, because the joints do not adjust to the weight. The joints always stay the same. And what I would recommend is definitely start slow, listen to your body. I think being aware of the body is one of the most important things that we have to learn in nowadays society, not only related to running in general. So we have to really be aware. If something hurts, stop. Don't overdo it. Definitely start with smaller distances. Do the warm-up. Proper warm-up will prevent...
One of the questions, yeah. Please dive also into the warm-up a little bit. Like, how should a proper warm-up routine look like? I can, again, talk from my own experience. Over 20 years ago, I started with boxing. And in the beginning of boxing, often I would go to the punching bag and do not warm up properly, and then it started like my shoulder was aging, and it's like a red line throughout my life that I have always a bit of aging, and I know I could have prevented this with a proper warm up. And same, if once you're like a seasoned runner, how do you calm yourself down? Like, because I have it with workouts, let's say with calisthenics, a day without movement in general for me is a day where I don't feel 100% happy. I always have this feeling my day is not complete without a workout. So sometimes,
same here.
And if I have like an aging leg, shoulder, whatever it is, I'm like, okay, I can still do it. And sometimes the recovery might be better if I would not have done the training. But it's like it's a thin line between going maniac because I'm not doing my workout and overdoing it. Yeah, so let's start with the warm up.
I 100% feel you on that one. And I think what you just described describes a big, huge chunk of the population. So when it comes to warm-ups, I used to not warm up at all. I went outside, I went for my run, and everything was fine. For a really long time, everything was fine. But the moment I started exercising more, running longer distances, I also felt it. I felt a pain here, then a pain there. So I think I made it a promise to myself that before every run, no matter what I'm planning to do, I will warm up. So many people are just stretching. This is also highly individual.
Absolutely.
Everyone is different. I, as also a yoga teacher, I'm very flexible. I can do a stretch. It's not going to do anything to me, but I prefer moving stretches and, just like some mobility, some like no static stuff. Before a run, it's very important to move, so you can do the leg swings before. You can do a little bit like go down and do like stretch your hips a little bit, like the hip flexors. Anything that is moving, a moving warm-up is definitely good. But yeah.
And of course, if you have limited time, like but this goes out to all the bartenders. Look, Andy just told us, and I see what you do. Always, you're in movement in general in your life, and I think if you can make every day like or take a certain time to go for a run, I think everyone could if you want. So that's not an excuse, in my opinion. The limited time. That's what I want to put out.
I don't have time. I don't have time for anyone.
No one, right?
But I am making the time because it's important to me, and that means I'm waking up 1.5 hours earlier instead of sleeping till 7. I wake up at 5:30 and I get my run in while my kids are sleeping. So it is, and I think that's the overarching theme. It's the mind, the power of the mind. Our mind controls everything. If you have the right mindset, you can achieve whatever you want in your life. And you have to start moving, because just having the mindset and planning, and you can plan your whole life and never do anything. You have to start moving. You have to say, this is the day I start doing something and I am going to do it. No, time is no excuse, and the warm up can be short. It's enough to do 2 minutes of warming up and then go for it. But again, highly individual. It's based on your fitness level, on your training level. Like, where are you when you're a beginner? Maybe put a little bit more focus on the warm up, shorten the run, and then go from there. You got to build that muscle to. There's improvement there. And I think for beginners, it's amazing because there's a lot of improvement. For me right now, I'm doing a lot of work and I see such a tiny little bit of improvement, but that's also enough. And sometimes it's not about that, it's about having fun. Like go out and run and smile. That is something that I tell myself. Every time I go out for a run, I pay attention on my smile. I'm always smiling, because if you're smiling, your mind is already in this altered state of happiness and you're having fun. No matter how cold it is, no matter if it's raining, if the sun is shining, it's always good. So, and that's the mind. The power of the mind is the biggest, most important thing that we can apply in our daily lives.
Absolutely love it. And also you activate your nervous system. In general, I think that's great, and I love that advice. Like, see everything positive, and it starts with a smile. Like, your neurons, everything in your body gets activated. That's often the problem. Also, what you mentioned is brilliant. Like, it starts with executing. We are in the mind, we are brilliant. Everyone is a millionaire, but we can use this power of like the manifesting power. The problem is more than 90% of the people have what you just said, is that we dream big, but then when it comes to executing, no one wants to do the hard work. And that's why I think it's so important to start with a small routine. And what you mentioned is brilliant. Like, have this small success, like a 10-minute run is better than fair enough. Now we are in the beginning of a new year, and I just talked to a friend and I was like, hey, brother, I wanted to motivate him as well to do a bit more sport. He was like, yeah, I saw in the supermarkets now everyone is selling these sports things. And he's like, I'm going to buy a running vest. And I was like, no, I don't think that's the right approach. Start running first and then buy the tools. I know it's great, and we feel like the reward, and advertising is built up like that you get like this dopamine kick once you buy something, but that's not how it works. You have to start this little routine. And especially for running, let's say someone, of course, there's another drug in hospitality I see a lot, which is smoking. A lot of guys smoke, and it limits our oxygen. So how would you say what's the perfect breathing? Of course, I guess it's also individual. But now, as you have been in so many races around the world, like marathons, and you have been with so many experts, what do you think is a great breathing technique to get started with? To give you a bit of a context, also I started breathing with the Wim Hof technique. I don't know if you're familiar with it, and it changed my life. Yeah, yeah, of course you are. And I've been in a seminar with him and on other seminars around the world. I think breathing is really a game changer. And I think that's how we met in the plane, right? When I was doing a breathing technique and you were like, hey, I have some right. oils for you, which you might talk about as well. So yeah, give us a little bit of a context on what you think is a good breathing technique.
Yeah, like you said, breathing in general is very important. And I think, again, 90% of our population doesn't know how to breathe right and only uses up to 30% of their lung capacity. So, well, my approach to this, don't start learning how to breathe with your first run. Do breathing exercise and breath work before. Try to get familiar with that, because that is not only applicable to running. It's the most essential thing we do, and we do it on autopilot. You know, if we stop breathing, we die. So it's something that we have to relearn to do right. When it comes to running, I mean, you already mentioned it, it's highly individual and very subjective. So I've tried many different things. But for me personally, I am listening to the sound of my feet on the ground. So there is a rhythm. And it makes a lot of sense to like align your breathing to that rhythm. But then again, I've also tried just breathing through the nose, but I don't think this is a good thing for beginners. I mean, it's very powerful because the nose also filters, you know, the bad stuff in the air. That's what we have. That's how the nose is built. But it won't give you enough oxygen into your lungs. So probably a mix of nose and mouth breathing. I've also done box breathing sometimes during my runs to lower my heart rate. So when my heart rate spikes, I really focus on my breathing. That's when I go, okay, now everything else doesn't matter. Bring your breathing or bring your heart rate down. Try to breathe like steady, hold it for a little bit. It's super uncomfortable, but it helps. Nevertheless, I don't think that's the right approach for like a beginner. As a beginner, you shouldn't, because it might distract you and it might make running a little bit uncomfortable if you focus on the breathing. Try to find your rhythm. I think that's the most important advice I can give here. Try to breathe steady, but don't put too much focus on it. And if you feel like you can't breathe anymore, slow down. If it feels comfortable, you can go a little bit faster. Just try to mix and match. Try to find your own rhythm.
Yeah, love it. So try to find your own rhythm. It's absolutely right. And once you start understanding how breathing influences all your life, what you just laid out, you will understand that you can control everything, every situation. It brings you clarity. I mean, if you're in love, you know, let's say you date someone on the first date, you have a very calm breath. But I just told you the story. I'm right now in Barcelona, and yesterday a guy robbed my girlfriend, her necklace. Thank you. And yeah, it was crazy because then you get like in a nervous breeze. I was running behind that guy, you know. And these are the things, once you understand, hey, you can control everything in your life. It's just a moment of breath. There's a great guy, Yassin Zaiwasser, Be Water, Yassin is his name. And he got me very much into this breathing. He's a breathing coach for a German sports team in the first division. And he basically, he really aligned me on that. I was like, yeah, it's so true. we come, there's the first breath, we go from this life with nothing but our last breath. And that's really mind-blowing. So yeah, as you say, focus first maybe on executing, then align with the breath. So yeah, great.
And just try to exercise breathing outside of running. And that's something you can do all the time. It doesn't matter if you're mixing cocktails behind the bar. You can breathe, and you can try, hey, breathe in 4 times, hold it, breathe out 4 times. That is something you can always practice. Like, make it something like that's again, feel your body and try to think about it. May put reminders in your phone, just like you remind yourself to drink water. Breathe.
Love it. Yeah, that's what I always say to the guys as well. Like, if you have a bad situation, you control the situation. Maybe, okay, you have like a lot of anger, go to the toilet for a second, do nose breathing, do mouth breathing, whatever it is, calm down. It's your world, and don't let any outside energy influence you. So it's a great advice. Okay, to bring up the performance a little bit further, I am personally, as a nutritional coach, ideally I think the diet should look like no isolated things. I believe very much in this, but I changed a little bit my perspective over the last years, and I use personally a lot of supplements. Like, now, as I just mentioned, I traveled to Barcelona and I used a lot of supplements. If you would see, I brought like a lot of stuff. Like, I have maca. I give you a couple of the ideas. I just put some here to show you. Magnesium.
Very important when you
vitamins, B12, D3, K2, iron. I have lemon water spray, lemon salt spray. If there would be, let's say, 3 supplements which you would say these are the supplements you should have, like, it can be an electrolyte, or what I recently figured out has a tremendous effect on cardio, especially long distance. It's called Rhodiola rosea. It's a fermented, kind of fiber from the, I think, Acacia tree. Crazy stuff. Like, I use it, and I'm good in cardio. Like, I can run. Yes, it's not my favorite sport yet, but maybe it will become after our talk. But I did like skip roping, especially for boxing, which is kind of similar on the cardio. And normally I would do an hour, or like, let's say 12 rounds, 3 minutes, and I'm exhausted. But when I'm using this, it's crazy. I can go on and on. And I went afterwards to swimming for to crawl 1 kilometer. I did like an abs workout. I was like, crazy. This is for me one of my favorite ones. And maca root, have you heard about that?
Mm-hmm.
Tastes horrible, but saying when I do it before boxing, I can do sparring, let's say 2-3 rounds more, which is a lot in boxing. I don't know if you have tried boxing, because you have
but it's on my list.
You should. Yeah, you keep your guard up, and you have the cardio. So
I think we have a date here. I'm taking you on a run, and you're taking me on a boxing.
Let's do this. Yeah, I would love it. Yeah.
But in regards to supplements, so honestly, the supplement market is oversaturated. I feel like everyone offers some sort of supplement. You don't know where to look. You don't know what to buy. You don't know.
Everything changes your life, right? Everyone promises you that's it, and your life is.
It's 100% pure, and you will be smart, badass, whatever. But so I think it's very hard to find your supplements, because all the supplements promise the same thing, right? And at the end of the day, you have a pill, you swallow it, you have no clue what is in that pill. It can be fucking your neighbor's dog's poop in there. So I always struggled finding the right supplements. And yes, I tried here and there. I used pharmacy. I went to the pharmacy and got natural stuff there, because I thought, okay, maybe that's something reliable I can trust. But at the end of the day, like, the big change happened 5 years ago when I went to one of my yoga lessons. and my instructor, she used essential oils. She put essential oils on the soles of her feet, and I asked her, hey, what are you doing? You're going to slip on your mat? Like, what kind of yoga teacher are you? Blah, blah, blah. That was the first session with her. And she was like, no. This is not an oil. This is an essential oil. It's not oily. You're not going to slip. Everything's fine. It's going to help you balance yourself. It was balance. The oil was called balance. And that's when I really got into aromatherapy. And there is one brand, doTERRA, that has a medical therapeutic degree. So it's like like the bio certificate. Like it's 100% pure. It's no.
What certificate is it?
It's called CPTG, Certified Pure Therapeutic Degree. Yeah,
like the organic.
It's exactly like that's a certificate that is specifically for essential oils, and it just guarantees the purity. Because, for example, in Germany, by law, a pure essential oil only has to have 16% of pure essential oil in there, and the rest is fillers. And that's by law. That's how you can call yourself pure essential oil. Anyways, long story short, essential oils are great. They can help you with a lot of things. They have changed my life. I don't get sick anymore. And that brand also makes supplements. So they make supplements on different, like, packed for different ambitions in your life. They also have the performance pillar, so to speak, where you have a lot of metabolic things, with NAD plus and just stuff to boost your performance. But then you also have things for like longevity. I mean, that's hyping anyways. Everywhere you hear, use M&M, use this, use that. But they pretty much have everything all like condensed in packages, and you can get those packages in there. I am, let's say, I feel safe to take these supplements, and I can really, like, based on what I need, I buy doTERRA. That's my go-to supplement. And of course, magnesium and things like this on the side. But I think supplements play a very important role once you found yours, like you found your maca root and that other thing you showed us. You have to supplement, because nutrition and nowadays foods we buy at the grocery store
monocultures
not existent anymore. And I've just seen a documentary with a guy in Africa who, like, did you know bananas have seeds? Have you ever eaten a banana with seeds? They have seeds that are that
big. I mean, you can see them, yes.
But the real bananas have like seeds you have to spit out. So that's how much the food that we buy has changed and pretty much has no nutrition anymore.
All the bitter parts from grapes, like the seeds, everything gets removed. It gets easier in theory. Your life gets easier. It's more accessible. But then once you read all the food labels, you see there's like a lot of seed oils. There's a lot of sugar, like everywhere.
Yeah,
like,
sugar is the biggest.
Horrible.
So I think, but that also brings us to a balanced diet. So I think if you combine certain supplements, like, don't overdo it. We don't have to become this guy. I don't know his name. Like, there is a documentary of
I think I know. Takes referring to this guy.
I don't know, 1,000 supplements a day or something, and his life is pretty much just, I want to stay young. Like, I think anything that comes with balance is good. Have a balanced lifestyle. Yes, you can eat an ice cream sometimes. Yes, you can have a glass of wine now and then. But just, I think balance is key. Yeah,
don't get obsessed with something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good point. Like, why waste all your life to get younger, but then don't have time to live with it? So it's a good point. For me, same. I had to learn it it's not the hard way, but I invested a lot of money in supplements because I'm the guy, I read something, I dive into it, okay, I order it, I try it. And now I have at home like a battery of supplements which I never use, so I gave them away. And a bunch of them, I really feel they have an impact on me. I clearly see, hey, cool, they help me with recovery, they help me on achieving more workouts, etc., etc. And that's the point. That there's this guy. He's like I don't know what he's exactly doing. A Sadhguru. He's doing like a lot of spirituality. And what he said once really aligned with me. He said, "Don't be too strict. Try a certain diet for 3-4 weeks. Listen to your body. Write down. Feel. Get into it. Tap into it." And then you will understand, hey, that helps me, that helps you. Because everyone has a different diet. I tried out these kind of things. For me personally, I like a lot like a carnivore diet, cut out a lot of empty carbs. And my performance is good. I can do every day a run. I can go every day to the gym, train hard. I travel a lot and I can achieve it. But that's the point. What helps me might not be the right thing for you. And that's why what we shouldn't, a lot of guys, they push others. Hey, you should be vegan. Hey, you should be that. I was like, okay, let's let everyone listen to their own body and have their own truths. And it comes with everything without being too pushy, too focused. I think what
100% agree. Yeah, we all.
What you mentioned is listen close to the food where it was maybe 100 years ago, and then let's rethink it a bit.
Yeah. No, I think I totally agree with what you say. I think we all have, we are unique. Everyone is unique. Everyone has their own way, their own blueprint of how to live their life, of how to present themselves. And again, something many people are not aware. That's also when, I don't know if you've heard of human design, but this might get a little bit too spiritual right now. That's where human design plays a very important role. Like I've analyzed myself up and down and have changed a lot, but into a better version of myself, you know?
Absolutely.
And then there's also this thing called the inflammation spectrum. There's a very interesting book out there. And
what is it called? Do you know?
It's called Inflammation Spectrum, but I forgot the guy. It's Dr. something, but I can send it to you later and maybe you can put it as a link.
Yes, please.
So that's a book where you basically test yourself. So you go through a step-by-step protocol, eating different foods, and there you identify the foods that are not good for you. So like you said, an apple for me might really save my life, but an apple for you might bring you the worst. I don't know. You get like issues with your liver, whatever. Like, you know,
or the blood sugar might be
or the blood sugar,
up.
exactly. Yeah. So for every individual, and also based on your lifestyle and whatever you do every day and your mental, you have specific foods that are good for you and some that are not good for you. And I've actually done that. I went through the steps in the book and I completely changed my diet. I had to cut out a lot of things. I mean, one of them was milk, but I think a lot of people do that nowadays anyways. But you find
all types of milk, or because often it has to do with the casein type. So the regular cow's milk has casein A1, and then if you do like buffalo, or if you do other types of milk, grass fed, you have a casein A2 type, and that's way easier to digest for our system. And it's super interesting. We should learn more about our own body than learning about the iPhone technology, or of course it's part of our life, but I love it. But to come back to the supplements, is there a top 3? Like I like electrolytes for hydration, against cramps, especially for long runs. Maybe I do, for instance, creatine to fill up the ATP storage, and that is one of the supplements I use for workouts. Let's say I did the bench press, and I had like every time like 60 kg where I could push. And once I started doing creatine with a glucose level, like a date before my workout, and suddenly within a month I went up to 90 kg. And I realized, wow, that is the supplement that helps me personally. It might not be the same for you, but do you have, like, for running especially, maybe 3 which you would say, like vitamin you already mentioned?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm using Martin a lot, honestly. So Martin, like the gels and the electrolyte drinks, you know, the drink solutions. But that's something that I really just, because it's highly concentrated, I do this before my runs. I am drinking them, or I'm like, because I know that my body just needs more than I can give it, you know. That's something like, yeah, definitely electrolytes is something I would never miss out when it comes to running, but that's really something I just really do before the workout or after, like not the daily before a longer
right, also what I see often with running, I never done like a marathon. I think the longest runs I do 15 kilometers maybe. I want to do it as part of this. I see often they load up with carbs before and after. I mean, well, I don't know if it makes sense or not.
I don't do it. I don't do it. And I think, like we just discussed, there is this very unique way of how people process things. And if I load up with carbs the day before, I'm not running the marathon. I end up on the toilet, like every toilet stop. Like it's really like that. It sounds gross, but for me, my body can't process carbs like that. Yes, you have to. I might eat a little bit of a carb-richer diet, but that starts already weeks before.
Yeah.
I don't just do carb loading the night before. Sorry, that doesn't work for me. I when I know a marathon is coming up, the whole month before the marathon, I am training my body to definitely eat more, because I also train more, you know, otherwise I get like, I'm left just a skeleton. And you also have to train, like for long distance running, you need the gels. Like that's a non-negotiable.
Right.
Some people prefer solid food. Sometimes I also eat, because you also, like I eat a banana during my run, you know, but that's also something you have to train your body to.
Absolutely.
You can't just go from 0 to 100. And I mean, magnesium, I think magnesium is the only constant I'm taking really every day, like a religion. It's
like as a pill. Sorry to interrupt. As a pill, because lately I also started using magnesium oil when you come after the shower, because apparently your body can adapt it better as you get. But yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, magnesium, I think, very good, and that's another time. We have to try it, right? So magnesium is
I think so too. I think that's when you do a lot of sports, that's a non-negotiable. Your body needs the magnesium. And for women, maybe also iron. A lot of women get into iron deficiency.
Got my iron as well. Great. Yeah. So keep it basic. Let's summarize it for the supplement part, right? Keep it basic and don't get into the trap of the advertising, which promises you everything. I think the most important part is listen to your body. Like I do intermittent fasting, you know, and at the moment I only eat once a day. I eat a lot once a day. I'm a big guy. Let's say I'm over 80 kg, and people will say you will end up skinny. I'm like, yeah, okay, how? Tell me. I'm not. I'm 82 kg. I do every day a workout, hard workout. I can do a lot of body weight exercise, you know, and it's possible. And they're like, no, you need more proteins. Everyone has a different opinion. And I say, yes, that's your truth. That's mine. But I think with all these basics, it's already a lot information for a beginner, but also it's very, very valuable information what you give here. Another thing, as you work with a German sports brand, Adidas, maybe tell us a little bit about the equipment. Now we covered all the mind, body preparation, but I think equipment is very, very, very important too. I used to go run with Converse shoes, and I realized, okay, they're not the best shoes for running. Maybe it was when I was younger, I watched like the Rocky movie, and I think he was running with these kind of shoes, and then stick to my mind. And then I changed and I bought really good running shoes, and suddenly I'm like, oh my God, what did you do all the years to your feet? I mean, that's the thing which carry us through life. So give us a bit of an insight on shoes.
I mean, honestly, yes, I would say I have crazy equipment at home, and that equipment has completely changed my running game. But let's go back. Like, let's really go back in history. And also nowadays, there's a lot of people running barefoot. And all the big runners, all the marathon winners, all the Kipchoges out there, they ran barefoot half their life in Kenya, right?
Yeah.
And I also see a lot of people going back to the barefoot trend because our feet, I mean, we want to keep it natural, right? And our feet, I think, are like the best way our feet feel is if they're barefoot. So I don't think the running shoe it is super important. But again, we are equipped with everything we need. Then when it comes to shoes, yes, you want to prevent injuries. So you need to find a good shoe. I wouldn't run in a Converse shoe because that's really bad.
Yeah, of course. I just to interrupt, it was just for short distance, but I still realized, hey, these shoes are not made for running. They are different purpose.
Yeah, sometimes when I wear my regular shoes and I have to run somewhere to, I don't know, catch my kids, I'm like, ugh, what the hell am I doing here? Like, that's not good. No, but like maybe basics for a beginner, I think cushioning and stability. Those are two things that are very important. So you want to feel comfortable in the beginning. You want to have enough, you want to get into your running shoe and feel like, okay, that's comfortable. But you also need stability. You need to not, like bend over or anything. So I think those two things are important when you're looking for a running shoe. Then, I mean, nowadays we have this big trend of carbon plated shoes, especially when it comes to fast running. So what they do is put a carbon plate into the midsole, and that kind of pushes you, right? So there's a lot of videos on Instagram if you search for carbon plated shoes where you can see the difference, and those are great. Hey, the first time I put on a carbon plated shoes, I thought I'm flying, right? But the problem nowadays is that they're being overused. Of course, it feels great. Of course, you're a lot faster, but the number of injuries has also risen, and now we see a lot of stress fractures coming, probably coming from that. There is no clear correlation. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
But so careful with that one. Like carbon plated shoes are meant for racing, for race day, but training should be without carbon plates. And for beginners, definitely cushioning and stability.
Great. What about shirts? What about all the other things?
Honestly, hey, go with the flow. Wear what feels good. I know I could be a complete advertising machine right now, but I mean, it makes sense to wear active clothing, something that breathes, something where you're not wet after 2 kilometers, so you feel comfortable, but literally wear whatever you feel good in. If you want to wear your fancy shirt, then go with your fancy shirt. Nowadays, everything is out.
And it can also have a psychological impact on you. If you don't feel pretty, of course, we should always focus on the inside, but we all know human beings are also designed for feed our ego a little bit. So that's why if you don't feel comfortable, it might affect your performance as well. So I like that. Go with the flow. And of course, these are the things which come in the end once you started executing. Maybe a bit far-fetched as well. Another question which I wrote down: what about frequencies like music? What about? I always say in a bar it sets the tone for your mood, right? So. What about running?
I mean, frequencies in general, great power. The music nowadays we listen to is not the best for us. I think there were some studies that the frequencies in the music is really taking us out of balance. But overall, music can be considered as doping. That's why music is also not allowed for the elite runners. They're not allowed to listen to music because it's considered as doping.
Oh, really? Is it? Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Music I'm pretty sure can definitely help. I'm also, I love running with music occasionally, you know, because you connect a specific song to a specific moment. Maybe you go remember something. It helps you with your run, you know. It powers you when you listen to something fast paced, I don't know, or something you like. It changes your body. It brings some endorphins out. It helps the run. But I'm also a strong believer in running without music, because you hear stuff. You hear the birds singing, you hear the water flowing, like from the river you run along, you hear your footsteps on the ground, and that also has some magic. So yeah, it depends on the mood. If you're not very motivated, put in some music and get out there.
Right.
And if you feel like you need some alignment, you need to be connected to nature, connected to yourself, leave the music away and just embrace what you have.
I love that. In general, we should be a bit more mindful. Once, like I went to the Shaolin temple, and afterwards I was, or since then, I'm way more mindful and valuable, or I put more focus on my time on planet Earth, because nowadays we put in the morning, we go to work, put in music. We always distract for ourselves from our own thoughts, from our minds.
Yeah.
That's a great advice. So try to be, or vary a little bit, right? A session with music, one session without. That's a great advice. There's this guy, what's his name? David Goggins, yes. And he was like, oh, music is cheating. He was the same as you mentioned. And since I heard it from him, of course, I was like, that's a bit too strict. But then sometimes I'm like, yeah, but he's sometimes right. Would I do this last, whatever it is, if you do chin ups, whatever it is, like this last energy sometimes can come from outside energy source, like music, from the extra supplements. So sometimes it's also good to be in this weaker state and really work on yourself. I think that's a very good point.
Yeah, if you want to work on your mind as well, you know, while you're running, and you're not just running because you want to lose some kilos, run without music. Because that's going to strengthen your mind 100%, especially when you go on long runs. And I mean, that's the magic of long runs. Honestly, the short runs are cool, especially for a beginner. A short run might already be a long run, and it's a huge like accomplishment. But once you start getting over like the 30, 35 kilometers, 40, that's when your mind starts changing. Like you really, something is happening there. It's like ego is like starting to crumble, and it's really powerful.
I believe so, 100%. I mean, I feel it when I do swimming. I can swim long distance, like up to 4 kilometers. And at a certain point, your mind starts like, I think you get into your brain, or parts of the brain, which Wim Hof also always relates on, is the reptile brain. I don't know how you activate endorphins in your body, which you think, wow, that's crazy. Like in boxing as well, once you understand, hey, you're over this low energy point, and suddenly you're like, wow, I'm getting into a lot of energy levels, which I think I didn't have. That's crazy. So that you already tapped into two of my last questions. Like one is like the therapy thing, which I want to ask you if you think running is like, or in general sports, is kind of a therapy, which you basically answered.
I know, of course. Yeah, it's like my morning. Like I said also in the beginning, I think that was one of my first sentences. It's my daily reset. It's honestly also where all my breakthroughs came from, you know, like everything I have accomplished in my life, or I have manifested in my life, started during a run at some point. Every idea. And also when I'm going through hard times. So last year, honestly, 2025 was a really tough year on me. I had to let go of a lot of things. And the letting go part always happened during a run. And you know what's funny?
Yeah.
I also, every race that I'm running, I am setting an intention to the race. So I'm running races to accomplish something and to work through something. And what during this race with like the energy of 50,000 other people, I'm thinking about my goal, and it's so crazy. Like I get goosebumps just thinking about it right now.
Yeah, I get goosebumps right now as well, because I was thinking about an occasion where we did like a high rocks in Mexico, and it was the same on the beginning, and suddenly you're like, wow, this is energy you cannot describe. That's
exactly.
I love it, to set an attention in general. I think you are a very inspiring person, and I can relate to a lot of things which you integrate in your life, like set intentions, be very mindful, and you can achieve everything. It's crazy how manifesting is real. Like for me, it is crazy, and I went through hard times as well, and it was sport which dragged me out. Like, become your own best version. And I know a lot of my friends, they would say, and that's why what I want to ask you as well, they would say, you're too strict on your diet, you're too strict on this, you're too strict on that. And I would still do it. I would go and do it anyways. And afterwards, now they're like, oh, you're so inspiring. I was like, yeah, but 2 years ago, you were like, you do too much. You know, it's always the same pattern.
Yeah.
What's your advice on that? If you have no sayers in your life, do you cut them strictly, or you limit time with them, or what's your goal? Because probably you have people telling you that as well.
Yeah, but I mean, most of those no sayers, like you call them, that it comes from like concern, you know, like my family, for example, when they see like, I mean, yeah, I'm doing a lot. For some people, it looks like a lot, but most of the time I'm telling them, hey, just watch. I mean, I will be all right. I know my body. I feel my body. As long as you, they can take you, things like this, things what other people say and the opinions of other people, because some also come from envy, you know, they don't want to see you succeed.
So, or they don't want to see you change, because they love the old version of you, and suddenly they see, oh my God, she's getting into a level.
Exactly.
I can't reach without suffering or like discipline, and that's often the part. Yeah,
right. So I would say as long as you don't feel any negative effects from your very strict, outgoing, you know, always on life, hey, just go for it. I don't pay attention to what people are telling me. I know what's right for me. And I think you know, we can come back to this. You're born alone, you will die alone. You don't need anyone else. You know what's best for you. And as long as you do it mindful and you listen to your body, and like you said, you don't go train with a broken shoulder. Even though sometimes we also do that, you know, like just quick story about the power of the mind, because I think that's a very important one. First marathon I ran, I was super excited. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go get it. Yeah, finally. And I didn't know what to expect, you know? And I talked to this girl, and she already ran a lot of races, and she was like a really like very well-known person as well. And I asked her for a mantra, and she said, well, you will never get your first one back, so you better fucking enjoy it. So I was like, oh, okay, thank you. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and I mean, it aligns with me smiling all the time and everything. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to smile. And I was running, and I mean, the crowds are crazy. I was paying attention to the crowds. The weather was great. The sun, boom. Suddenly I fell. Wow. I fell on the ground. I didn't look on the ground. I missed a crack in the pavement, and I injured myself. Nice. And I didn't know at that time, but I ripped 2 ligaments in my ankle. Oof. And I mean, it hurt, but I was like, hold on, like I have to finish this race. I can't stop right now. And it was at kilometer 13, 1-3. I had 30K to go. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna keep going. And I told myself, you can finish this race. You will finish this race. So my ankle kept swelling up. I knew as long as I mean, that's also, it can be very stupid, but I know my body. I knew as long as I can hold my weight, it can't be anything too serious. Yes, I wouldn't run if I was at home and I didn't have anything, but I wanted to finish that race. And I told my head, my mind was telling my body, you can finish this race, and I finished it. So maybe that was like the biggest learning of my entire running career, that if you really want something, you can achieve it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love also your way of thinking, and it's called neuroplasticity, that you should always focus on the things you want, and you will attract the right people in your life, and they will feed what you need, and the others they might get lost on the way. So as you just mentioned as well, that we go with nothing, we come with nothing. So that's great. Like the last question of me was, how do you prepare next level, like for these long runs? Because for you, it sounds like a piece of cake. I know if I would run 10 kilometers, yes, I can do it. But for instance, my body is more prepared for boxing, for heavy lifting, let's say, like when I do body weight, like handstands, these kind of things. But how you prepare properly for a run? Like, give us a very short intro. When you do, you told me you're going to do New York this year, on Madrid. Let's say I would prepare for my very first long distance run. Should I do it in weeks? Add a little bit, of course. Yeah, you already gave that answer, but like give a bunch of things which you would recommend, which we should not miss out.
I mean, there's a lot of training programs available out there. So I would, if you're a new runner, and you just start running and you have the ambition to run like a half marathon, I wouldn't start with a marathon maybe, or you start with a 10K, or there's training plans. Definitely get a training plan. But what I do when I know a race is coming up, I start around 4 months before the race. And that's when I really focus on mix training. So I do long distance running. I most of the time do that on the weekend. So on Saturday and Sunday, I'm doing like a 21K. Then I have one interval session during the week, which means you're running as fast as you can. Then you take a break for 2 minutes. Then you again run as fast as you can. Take a break again. So those intervals, I think, are the most powerful thing when you want to speed up or like increase your performance. But then I'm also integrating strength training a lot more, because it's important. That's the mistake that I've done for my first marathon. I didn't do a lot of strength training. I just did yoga, and my back said no. My back started hurting. So you really have to strengthen all your muscles a little bit more.
Especially for females. I just read a very interesting study that females over 30, it's so important that you guys focus on endurance, and also on heavy, or not heavy, but on lifting, because you lose muscles way faster than men. I think it has to do with testosterone and all the biochemical parts. So very, very, very important point. Even you might not like it as much as running, but I think these are the points. If we tackle them, the things we don't like, and we start loving them, I think that has tremendous effect as well on our health, performance.
No, definitely, So I mean, it will take a big bunch of your time training properly for a marathon, but you don't want to end up going to that race and then you have to get out. You cannot finish, or I don't know, you get injured along the way, which also happens, and you have to take your losses. But that's how I would approach it. A combination of everything. Again, keep your body in balance, and I can always recommend yoga. Being grateful is actually very powerful. Just be grateful for what you have.
Every day, every day be grateful. I'm very grateful that we had today the chance to talk, and you really helped me, and I'm sure a lot of others from the viewers of the Town of Society, to rethink, maybe motivate a little bit. For sure, always when I see on social media you're running and how you can manage still your busy life, I think you're a big inspiration for all of us. And I hope you can help a lot of beginners with your valuable information. Maybe share with us where can we find you on Instagram if someone wants the same piece of motivation, because I think you do brilliant content on this motivation part. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, my Instagram name is a little bit complicated. It's Societer, but the U is a V. So
Yeah.
SOCIETVRE. I think.
Perfect. Yeah, no, amazing. Also, the yoga part, which you mentioned last year, I was part on a project at Potato Head, Bali. They're in the 50 best hotels in the world. I helped them with a bit of consulting, and I went to a yoga and breathing session. What is her name? I forgot. Siana. She's a well-known yoga instructor, and I was like, I don't know if that's something for me. I tried it a couple of times. That was actually the best session I had on the whole day.
Wow.
I told her afterwards. So I was skeptical with yoga, and after I felt like, man, my body needs that the most, because often we're too much focused on the things we can do. Like for me, it's the strength part. Like, when you get into this strength and your teeth getting like, it's more the masculine energy. And I realized, oh my God, like the flexibility part, the yoga part, the calming part of the nervous system, that had for me a tremendous effect. So it's a very good point of view as well when you mentioned, or you admit that, strength training for you is maybe the part which you can focus more. So find your weakness as well, I would say. And especially for hospitality guys who live this hard life, look closely to your environment, maybe sort out also the no-sayers who don't want to see you succeed and win, and you figure that out easily. I think the most valuable people in my life are the ones who are asking me, hey, let's do a running session, let's do a gym session, which is brutally honest. Like, they want to improve your life, and you're really a big inspiration when it comes to that. So thank you so much. And in general, I think movement, it has brought me to the next level in my life. When I went through hard phase, you just doubled that down. So it is correlated to our nervous system. And so this was a brilliant session. Is there anything you want to add in the end?
Just start moving.
Love it.
Don't think too much. Just start doing it. That's something actually that I made another promise to myself for this year, and I don't do New Year's resolutions, but I know that, we're moving into the year of the horse, right? We're still shedding some skin right now. We're getting out of the year of the snake, and
we're the year of the horse now, right?
Exactly, like Feb 15th, the year of the horse starts, and the year of the horse means momentum. It means new energy. It means movement. And I promised myself that I will embrace that. And exactly this, and what you said about neuroplasticity, nothing will happen if you don't start acting. You don't have to plan too much. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just start doing. And once you start, the rest will fall in place. That's like pretty much the last thing I want to say. If you want to achieve it, just do it. Go out there.
Namaste. Yeah, thank you so much, Andy. And I think we have a resolution. Yeah. I'm gonna take you once to a boxing class, and we go for a run. I cannot 100%. Promise you that I'm gonna do a marathon, but I will take this as an inspiration to just start on. Let's integrate once or twice a week. A running session, because it gives you so much. And especially, I'm traveling a lot, maybe as the last point. I love running in different cities. Like now I'm in Barcelona, and then without music, you get a lot of ideas. So
it's so beautiful.
No,
Explore the city. Go out
explore
there.
the city and have a benefit of moving. So Andy, thank you so much for taking your valuable time. And yeah, I hear you soon. And everyone who has further questions, follow her on Instagram and let's make this happen. So
thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun.
Yeah, thank you for your valuable information, truly. And yeah, bless you. All the best. Thank you.
Thanks.